from the town who
Yeah, she is the
turned on
from the
the
she is the chief administrative assistant in the administrator's office,
right.
and she
Okay.
is wonderful.
Is she staying?
No,
No,
she turns on the meeting and she turned the control over to me.
Oh, okay. So I won't count her as present here.
Right.
right.
Okay.
Just to let you know, and I will let Brian know. Oh, I hope he comes on quick. I have to leave at. I have an appointment in Norwell at 11:30. They switched me to Norwell. I've been trying to get this for about 2 months, so I've got to go to it. I will do my best to communicate. I guess I would do that over Verizon broadband in the car if we're still working.
Okay.
Brian is connecting.
Good.
There's Brian.
Okay.
There he is.
Good morning. Brian's in at 9 o'clock. I would like to call the meeting to order. I'm going to take attendance. I'm the chair, Robert Dwyer. John Frank is here. Wendy Howland is here. Brian McCarter is here. Let's see. Jed Johnson is on vacation and is not present. I will note that with four of us here, we do have a quorum. And Bourne Community TV is on and recording this, and I do not see any guests. For anybody who would like to chime in on the discussions, anybody in the public, the login information is on our agenda on the Bourne calendar, which is available on the town website, or just search for Bourne calendar. Go to today's date. Click on the SciTac meeting, the first one on the list in the morning, and the agenda will pop up.
Is Anne-Marie coming today?
Anne-Marie is not. Anne-Marie has another appointment, so she's unable to attend. I did have a discussion with her the other night about a number of very salient issues.
Mm-hmm.
With that, I want to go through a review of the minutes. Wendy, nice job. And I can't get it up very quickly, but my one correction was that somewhere in terms of discussion of service, there was the implication that all of Bourne. Oh, there we go. God bless. Okay, it's on my cell phone. My computer is
Yeah, really. Okay, where are we?
complaining that it's. Let me find it. One moment. I apologize.
Oh. Yeah, there are a few typos here and there. I always find a couple. And I couldn't remember what Tilson's new name is.
Well, Tilson, it actually is
New England Broadband.
New England Broadband is the management team that teamed with Tilson, and they had called themselves. Was that Bonfire, or was that it was another B? I can't remember, Brian. What was that?
I have emails from him. Give me a second. I can get you the current title.
Okay, it doesn't matter. It was a former company that had put proposals in to Falmouth. New England Broadband is close enough for now.
Okay.
Let's see.
New England Broadband is their domain. Yeah, so that's what they were using.
Right.
That
was one of the things on my list when I read it over. I said Tilson.
Yeah.
And mine was just it wasn't wrong. It was just that one of the entries was a bit ambiguous, and I will be very happy to let that one go by. And I didn't
Well,
have it on paper.
I'm not a big fan of ambiguity, so if anybody else, picks that up, and let me know.
Right. The thing I had was you mentioned Tony, Mr. Contrino at the beginning, and I don't know why he's
Is
there.
he still there?
Yeah.
No.
Take a look.
Where?
Line item 1, attendance.
Item 1 in terms of attendance.
Mr. Contrino.
And he was not on not on that call, as I recall, at all, as a member of the public.
Oh, That's
Yeah.
that's
So,
that and the Tilson were the thing I picked up that I thought were.
Okay. Yeah, Tony is a ghost in all my templates. I keep trying to erase him, but he just won't go away. You know.
oh, again, really quickly, I found it under the bead challenge I. The updated map of served under unserved census blocks has, okay, it's way up above. If you can scroll up there.
Oh, here we go.
Um,
Yes.
Yeah, as amended, show Bourne at 100% unserved and will likely be approved. It wasn't all of Bourne. It's show one census tract in Bourne as 100% unserved. One census tract block. Okay.
Okay.
It's actually a little redundant with something down below, but that's the only correction. It's not all of Bourne that's unserved or underserved.
Okay.
With that, any other corrections? Hearing no corrections. Okay, first, can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Wendy
Second.
moves. Someone's
I
John
second.
seconds. Okay. And going around the room, Wendy,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Brian,
Okay.
Aye.
and Bob. Aye. Okay. So we do not, as far as I know, we don't have any public correspondence. So I want to move right into the agenda. My computer, unfortunately, is going through an update. So if somebody could pull up the agenda here.
Let's see. Can you have it, Wendy?
I believe I do. Stand by.
Growl.
We should have it.
No, here we go. Come on, open up.
Come on, don't do this.
Ah, I hate Adobe. Adobe always makes things choke in my computer. All right, where's my share button? Here we go.
Kind of.
Got
Here we
it?
go. We go. Oh,
There we
wait,
go.
we got it. You just have to X out that little route.
Fantastic.
Doesn't matter.
So what?
You can X out the thing where it's next to all tools. It's an Adobe thing. If you click on the little X, it'll give you a bigger screen. If you click on you don't need that whole sidebar, but it's
No, I know.
okay. Yeah,
We're good. Okay.
There you go.
Again, Brian, I've got to move along quickly because I've got to be out the door at about 10:15 here.
Okay.
I can continue on the phone. I'll turn the chair over to somebody else. But we'll go forward. First, Brian, would you like to catch everybody up on the bead challenge in case you didn't figure it out from my initial draft of the report to our select board?
Well, the NTIA accepted MBI's request to label the census block group that we've already identified, Wings Neck, Pocassettle on the Water, Scraggy, as unserved, which is a huge win. Only place in the entire state that it happened. Many millions of dollars are going to flow to this area if we handle this correctly.
I'd like to interrupt, and I want to just congratulate Brian for
Absolutely.
not only quarterbacking but running all of the positions on this offensive to get this done.
Playing
And it
both
would
sides
not
of the
have
line.
happened without Brian. So, Brian, thank you very much, and I want to note that for the when we present this to the select board. Okay, continue, Brian. I'm sorry.
Very bittersweet for me since there's so much more need and we only got one block funded. But now we need to deal with the issue that MBI has decided that instead of having these locations bid under bead, they're instead going to go back and across the whole state with any locations that were gained during the challenge period, they're going to award them to whoever was awarded a GAP grant. So that would mean that Comcast is tentatively getting a GAP grant in Bourne. And by tentative, because it's not final, since it's not final, but we're almost there. And they're trying to
For
assign
the,
all the BEAD locations to Comcast instead of
for the
to.
record, just for the record, for anybody listening or watching on TV, under the initial the Gap Networks One grant, there were a number of grants on Cape Cod to Verizon, Sandwich, Falmouth, Mashpee, and other towns further out on the Cape. I think 7, not Bourne. And there was no grant under Gap One to the town of Bourne. Under Gap Round 2, Comcast did receive a grant, a very small grant for 4 locations only of $37,000. Okay,
It
and
might,
then
might have been 5 or 6, but you're talking low single digits. So we're talking single digits.
So if MBI has decided that this location is going to get a gap grant, that means it's not eligible for a BEAD grant. Is that correct?
Correct.
That sucks.
Well, we can do stuff about that. So
Okay.
The Comcast won't comment if they are upgrading the entire town to mid splits per our letter. They won't comment. I've asked. We don't know. We don't know. They won't. They're refusing to comment until the award's set in stone and can't be changed. So we have to work with what we had now, which is that they were only planning to go to like 100 by 100 in their grant instead of to say gig, which the coax can do with the right upgrades. So they were only planning 100 by 100 and not like 1 gig by 1 gig or their 10 gig that they have down in, parts of Pennsylvania and other places. So they were just barely going up a baby step. MBI's argument is that they are serving faster by using the BEAD grant. My argument is we have to focus on what's in the long-term best interest of Bourne, and speeding it up by a year or two might be given that this is a 40-year lifespan decision. 2 years to go a baby step versus 5 years to go like light years ahead is something the couple of years doesn't matter in the long span if we fix the problem permanently. So my opinion is we need to look at what is the long-term best interest of Bourne and recommend that to the select board.
well, just to amend that a little bit and expand on it, it is in terms of the long-term interest, both in terms of reliability, expandability, and frankly, if there is a bidding on this and potential for a second company to come in, then there will be price competition.
Yeah, I don't understand
which
this. This whole process just confuses me. None of this, I believe, was in the original documents where they outlaid what they wanted to do with the BEAD money. And essentially, what you're saying is correct. They're just cutting out the middleman entirely. They're cutting out all the competition. There's just that the whole idea was it was supposed to be open, and we were supposed to, once the money was awarded, we're supposed to write letters of support. They've just basically chopped us off and said, well, since you didn't get a gap grant, we can't award this BEAD money, which is federal money to begin with. It's why is NBI doing this? I'm really confused. But you'd think that they would want some competition.
MBI, just to be neutral about it. So MBI and the federal rules are technology neutral. And so MBI has to at least appear to be technology neutral. Town support does not have to be technology neutral. Town support letters. So I've read over BEAD. I haven't found the section in GAP yet, but in BEAD, it says if a town's withdrawn its support, they can't win the BEAD grant. I would guess it's the same under GAP, but I have to check the terminology because I know one town was awarded a GAP without a support letter, or no one thinks they issued a support letter. They weren't resistant. They just didn't, get around to issuing one.
Does that Brian, does that refer to the what looks like a new post facto rule that support letters cannot be conditional?
Yeah. So if you look at the BEAD, it it looks like MBI has learned to watch that there's conditions in these support letters and that the provider has to call out the conditions to MBI so that MBI doesn't miss them. I guess they've learned at least, because after Bourne put conditions in there and they missed them, I think they've updated it. So like we
Yeah,
got to
but the
reread the
thing
gap
is, but if
rules.
that's what their excuse is for not letting us have any bead grant at all because we put conditions on that letter. Post facto, they did this, right? That's not an
Well,
that's not an old reg.
so the the part I do know of the rules of gap is that the round one support letters could be used for round two unless they'd been withdrawn. So this is a
Right.
round two award. So we could just withdraw the gap support letter and block the grant. That is if we could recommend this to the select board and the select board approaches MBI, and I mean like ASAP, and the select board decides to do that, we could fix this.
Park that idea when we get further down on the agenda on the edit the report to the select board. I did not put a recommendation section, which I hope we would write on the fly on this. Okay. I'm conscious of my time, and we've got some writing to do. I'm going to move further down the agenda here. I mean, we've pretty much discussed where we are right now, and we can discuss this again in terms of presenting this to the select board. The next is potential application for DOR fiber funding. I haven't done anything on that. Anyone else have any immediate comments on that? I mean, we've got.
We need to
Go ahead.
we need to pin that one until we know what we're doing with gap and bead, because that could be co-funding. So that we have to
Yes.
just do on the fly as well. Whatever is not getting
Right.
hit by that and is a muni building, that's what we're going to recommend for the DOR grant.
Could we look back
Yes.
just briefly at the DEI stuff? Or no, I'm sorry, we're getting to that later. Never mind.
Yeah. Okay. So again, Brian's suggestion is we table discussion of DOR funding until we know what we're getting in terms of co-funding here, in terms of gap funding or BEAD funding. Okay. Moving forward, I'm going to go to the next item, which is digital equity plan and implementation. I have no new immediate information on that. Again, the last time around, John did some excellent detective work in terms of service at a few locations, at the library, at the marina, etc. Yeah,
I had a question about it. What is the process to approach county IT to find out what process they have for the not fiber connected public Wi-Fi? Is there a process for us to have one of us who understands this stuff pose the question? What's that process?
We can write it up, and we have to give it to Liz, who is the grant administrator and the IT administrator, and then she will pass that through to the county IT.
Okay, yeah, that's something probably John and Jed could probably write up to find out what's the situation on the, because it's probably some type of VPN back to town hall. Since they don't have like a fiber lease or dark fiber, or they don't have enterprise service on Open Cape or something. So plus whatever
I
tech they
believe
have.
the library, I believe, has enterprise service on Open Cape.
It does.
Yeah.
When you go to the library, and I showed you the things that I pulled up on my phone, and from what I did on their one of their computers, it shows Open Cape as being the originating ISP.
Yeah, so that's
So they
their
are
primary
connected,
setup.
right. And what I understand is that during the time when the town was having, and I don't know if they still are, difficulties with their network, their computer network, that the library was down at the same time. So
Yeah.
they are interconnected. Whereas it was pointed out by Jed, he believes the fire station and some of the other town-owned buildings may be connected directly with Comcast, not through Open Cape.
Right. Anything that is first responders, police, fire, etc., they are via a separate system. Okay. and I don't know exactly what that is. It may be lease lines over Comcast or something, but it is not via the Open Cape system, nor does it connect necessarily through Town Hall. The school
Yes, we
system,
do.
for instance, is a separate system.
The
Okay.
school system's on Open Cape though, so I guess if it's a separate system, so I guess there could be three systems. There's a Open Cape
Mhm.
1, Open Cape 2, and then non-Open Cape 3. And we just want to know what the three setups are, so that when we're recommending stuff, do we know, is this hard, or is this literally click a button off the shelf? I've already got a parts specs list and this is what it costs and this is how I do it. Or is this like a reinvent the wheel and having to figure it out custom every single time problem? That's really what we're looking
Right.
for.
Well, the thing is that
Yeah.
during the last meeting, Jed seemed to think that this was all settled already, that our report was done, and that it agreed with the Cape Cod Commission, and that it was now in the hands of the town administrator. And that all I wanted to do really was to get Anne Marie to just whisper in someone's ear and say, by the way, they just wanted to let you know that there really is an issue at a couple of these places, particularly the library, and just pay attention to this when you're looking for bids. We just wanted you to be sure that this is the number one priority, which it was in the report that was submitted by the Cape Cod Commission.
Well, there's about to be a
Right.
pile of digital equity money because MBI is expecting an overrun from BEAD. So we should be ready with this for those. Also, I think there's a little bit of wiggle room in the DOR grant for adding Wi-Fi and stuff. I have to double check if it bans inside equipment versus outside equipment, or if it's like if you physically put it outside, like does it qualify? So I got to re-review the rules for the year.
Right.
So we want to know, just because it's more on the digital equity bucket, and there's about to be lots of digital equity money.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I
And
thought that money was pretty well
I'm-
allocated.
I want to tell you, I'm concerned about that because, as we know, there are executive orders being signed willy-nilly in front of big crowds that have, as of yesterday, directed the entire federal government gestalt to pull anything that says digital equity on it or DEI on it.
No. That's
No, it's
diversity, equity, and
diversity,
inclusion.
equity, and inclusion. It has nothing to do with
Which is
broadband.
it's an unfortunate
And-
use of the acronym, but that's correct.
And the
It's
Well,
telecom
yeah,
companies
but-
support digital equity, so I doubt that this is one of the areas that might actually survive, because all the telecom companies love the digital equity money because it's not network building. So this area might actually survive.
Well, that'd be nice, but
Okay.
I wouldn't put it past them to at least put a hold on it and screw it up for a while. Do we have
Wendy,
that?
just
Do
will
we have
keep-
that 75 grand in hand already, or is that still pending?
MBI has it, and we have the award in the town, and it all we have to do is invoice against it, as far as I know.
Okay, good.
Okay, Wendy, just a note for you and a note for everybody else. Do not, under any circumstances, use abbreviations for this anymore of DE implementation, DEI, anything like that. Digital equity, planning and implementation, any of those words, but full words as opposed to abbreviations. Okay, because I'm sure there's going to be somebody who's going to be doing word searches and say, "Oh, this committee is doing DEI. Let's go and eliminate this committee." Okay.
Yep.
Okay. To be honest, the people who understand little of this are out there scanning stuff right now. Okay, so we need to be very clear that this is dealing specifically with the internet. Okay. Okay, having said that, I'm going to go through the next couple of items very quickly. The Tech Council and the Mass Broadband Coalition kind of held a joint call yesterday morning, and the platform was turned over to Brian to discuss exactly what he just expressed to us. And the word was for everybody to get out to their legislators or select boards for the towns and make them aware if they've gotten grants that any potential future money is being wired for whoever won one of the GAP grants if they have a GAP award. Western Maryland chimed in that they've got like 50 towns that have little grants of this, and they were quite concerned. They came on board. Anyway, that is the extent of it. There are no minutes for the record of that meeting. There were, Brian, 30 people on it from a number of representing anywhere for 60, 70 towns, as well as other organizations, planning boards, etc. And we don't have an attendance list.
No,
Um,
and there was no quorum of the
where
SciTech
two of us
committee.
participated. Yeah. No committee, no quorum for our committee, nor was it
Nor
there
was
any
it
need
expected
for.
to be, nor was there expected to be at this event. So
Right.
it was not
Right.
posted
So there was
because it
no
was
need
not
for
even
us
expected.
to post to it. Okay, just for the record.
Got it.
In case Sarita asks questions about that one. Liaison with other towns, Jed is not present, so we don't know. Ed Schwartz from Falmouth, from the Falmouth MLP, was on the call yesterday. And he had some specific questions, but nothing new to report on what's going on there.
Which call? Oh, their MLP.
No, this was the Tech Council and Broadband Coalition kind of joint council. The Broadband Coalition were all invited to the Tech Council yesterday. The next is fiber service to the Barlow's Landing Tower.
I was on the
This is
call
on the
with I was on the call
Liaison
with the
with other
Cape Cod Commission.
towns? Do we have anything?
Jen is not present in the other than Ed Schwartz from the Falmouth MLP being on the call yesterday. There's been no contact with other towns.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sorry about that for the record.
Okay. Just checking.
Okay. Yeah, Brian, go ahead about the cell tower.
So they had their first call. It was the shortest call I've ever been on. Apparently, they have to have a regulatory kickoff call where they say it's like posted and the 90-day period started, and there's no presentation, no questions. I got an email of who to contact if we do have questions at the commission, and there'll be another substantive call scheduled shortly.
Okay, very good. Were any of our usual contacts there? Steve Tupper, David
Nope.
Still?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Someone I hadn't recognized, and I said we usually work with David Still, and they're like, "Oh, okay," and they knew
I'm
who
sorry,
that was.
could you say that again about the 90 days? You blew past that.
Oh, there's some kind of 90-day period. I don't completely understand it, but for this type of thing, there's like
For
a 90-day comment period, and so they had to do a formal kickoff call for it. And they said that the substantive call with details is typically closer to the 60-day line, so there should be a call scheduled shortly.
Okay, thank you.
But as the official period, if we have questions, to put them in.
Brian, are you aware, has there been any public comment about the cell tower being put up? It's actually a monopole, but
Not that I'm aware of. I've been dealing with BEAD and GAP money.
Yeah.
I mean, I
just
haven't
to
seen
let
anything. Yeah, Bob, you
John,
probably
except for one abutter, and he's not really an abutter. There haven't really been any public comments one way or the other than several people who utilize Larry's Market, who utilize the post office, etc., noted that it was, from those points of view, it was lower than the height of the light towers for the baseball field at that distance.
and I
Okay,
suspect
so
that,
the
I was going to say that I
de
don't.
minimis view impact.
Yeah. We could all use better cell service.
Really?
Yeah.
Right. Well, we'll follow that up as we go forward. We may want to make do a formal appearance in the public meetings. We will decide that. We have plenty of time. The next is the report to the select board. And one, I would like to, John, if you could take command of doing the edits on this, since you've already
Why don't we
started correcting some.
Can we let Wendy do it? She's a much better editor than I am.
Can I
Okay.
close this
Yeah,
this
you can
window?
close that.
All
Because
right.
this is the last thing we have.
Okay, let me
Right.
let me pull this
Because
up.
Wendy
then.
is just much better at it than I am, particularly now. I spent a few days last week dealing with some health issues, and I'm not 100% yet.
Oh,
I've seen a lot of
okay.
doctors.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Where did I put this? Damn it. I can't remember where I put it. Can somebody else put it up on the screen? I have
Yeah,
it.
give me a second and see if I can
I have it
find
in a hard copy, so I can take notes on it.
Right. You have to shut off screen sharing and let me see.
I did that.
Okay, so let me go here because we just downloaded this
I thought I left
and
that open here.
under
Uh,
NBI
oh,
grants, Comcast, Verizon. Here we go. Okay, let me just this 200%. Okay, so now let me go back and see if I can share my screen here. Okay, you have, I think you have to unshare, Wendy, and then I can
I think I
share.
did that.
I still see it up here.
Really?
Yeah.
Because usually when you close it, it goes away.
No, you have to unclick
No,
share
you
screen.
you, you need to physically unshare along the command line.
Well,
So,
don't have anything like that.
it should be at the bottom where it says share screen. Well,
Yeah, I got that. When I click on share screen, there's nothing there.
well, you know what? I can control it because I'm in control. Hang on.
Okay.
Okay, so now I have this,
So-
and let's see if this comes up. Okay, do we all see that?
Yes.
Yay.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right. I'll take notes on my hard copy and I'll because I saw some, there's some wording that could be a little clearer and stuff like that, but nothing that exciting.
Well, we need to do it now because my proposal is that once we are agreed on this, I want to send this to the select board today as approved by by a quorum of the committee.
Okay.
That will get us on the agenda maybe by the 28th, and also to send for their reference just copies of the approval of the support letters we had done for GAP 1 that they had sent to the companies. Okay. First of all, just do I have Brian has voluminous edits here, but do I have the general flow of the facts here correct, Brian?
Oh yeah, it's generally fine. It was more that I spotted a few things. Either you left it blank. Yeah,
Right,
it was pretty
right.
good when I
Well,
read it
as
over
we go
last night
down,
after a
please.
long day. So if I see anything
Yeah, yeah,
else,
yeah.
I'll let you know.
Please, you sent me a list of possible edits. Please chime in with verbal corrections, and we can get those in. Brent, John
And
can
tell me where
type
to
them,
roll down
and
to,
when.
and I'll roll down to it.
Yeah, okay.
And I'll try to put the edits in if
The
I
first.
can.
Yeah, start with the edits. First is the beginning of the fourth paragraph. Obviously, the cursed autocorrect keeps changing Bournes to Barnes for me.
Yeah, well.
Uh,
Oh.
I keep fighting that. I had a letter to somebody named Barnes that I did a couple of days ago, and it still thinks I'm working on that. Okay.
Okay, I got that one.
Yeah, I'll get that.
Okay, yeah, I'm making it in here, and I'll try to catch up what I can, and then Wendy can fill it in, and I can send it to her after the meeting.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Why don't you do that, and then I can clean it up and get it right
Right.
back to you.
Okay. Yeah. Because as long as
yeah,
we're going slow
and
enough, I can do it.
Okay.
yeah, and once again, Wendy is going to make very minor typo and editorial changes that don't change any of the content. So,
Right.
as the chair, I rule this: there's no substantive difference between what we approve and what she finally returns for me to send to the select board.
And I will have
That's
that
how.
back to you within 15, 20 minutes. So,
Excellent. Okay. Again, I'm going to be driving to a doctor's office, so until I get back from that, it's not going to get sent out. But I can read it
okay.
in the waiting room on the laptop. Okay. The one typo, Brian, under Gap Networks grant grant program, the grants were announced by MBI on. You have a date on that, December.
Oh, let me find my email
Yeah.
I sent you. Sorry, I was getting
Yeah,
emails
I
from the
can't.
tribe to meet. Dwyer. The Healy Driscoll administration announced round one grants totaling 45 million in a press release on July 2nd, 2024. I will paste the quote from the state
Okay.
into chat.
Okay.
Okay. So that goes at the end of the second bullet, the first sentence of the second bullet.
When I put
A
that on there,
correction.
you can see it. Yeah, I'm using an old copy of Word, but it should work.
Yeah.
Right, and sandwich here needs to be capitalized. I noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that.
By the way, my autocorrect, Gestapo, anytime I type sandwich with a capital S that isn't at the beginning of the sentence, it
Right.
switches to lowercase. God help us.
I got
Okay.
one fact
Okay.
that may not matter for the select board, but I wanted to let you know, it appears that Comcast applied in round one, but wanted in round two. They put in like a app for every town they wanted during round one, and they only got some of them. I don't think that distinction matters much.
Well, I
But
think no. Let's put that. Let's at least be correct if you do know that.
I'm about 98% sure because the Freedom of Information request was for GAP round one, and I got the Comcast app, but the award is in two, or the award, the tentative award is for two.
I
Okay,
found my document for live editing. If somebody wants to, if you want to close the other one, I'll screen share this one.
Okay, I can do that. Give me a second here.
So,
Let me
so we
unshare it.
know Comcast applied in round one, but wanted in
okay.
two.
Well,
So
let's correct that bullet. That first bullet there, and that's easy enough to do.
I gotta find out.
Or
Oh, stop share. Here we
tentatively
go. Okay,
award
good.
for
Okay,
two.
Wendy, you're up. You can.
Okie doke. Come on, open up. Here we go.
Yeah,
Wendy
I was
is by
rereading my
far
emails from Jen and
better
figured out
editor
the
than I
distinction
am.
yesterday.
Come on. There we go.
There it
Okay.
is. Okay.
All righty.
Okay, the two typos were
Bourne.
second line of the fourth paragraph,
Bourne.
Bourne's.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
Okay.
capitalized sandwich in the second bullet under Gap Network Grant
Yeah.
1, and then the big addition on the Healy administration.
And that was on July 2nd.
Yeah.
There's a no typo in there.
Yeah, I know. I'll fix typos, but okay.
And then under the first bullet, let's see, we have learned that Comcast applied for GAP funding, GAP 1 funding for Bourne, but we do not know about Verizon.
We do not know about any other provider. We were only given
Oh,
GAP
yeah. We do
1
not know
and
about
GAP
any other.
2 Comcast.
Okay, we're gonna like take this out because
The second sentence. Oh, okay. Where is this?
okay, we determined that who has what? The Comcast?
The Comcast applied for GAP in round 1 and is tentatively awarded it in 2.
No. Let's
Leave it out.
leave that under GAP 2 down below. Okay. And we do not know about any applications from any other companies for Bourne.
So just after the comma, so you're before the comma is correct. We've determined
Yeah.
Comcast applied for GAP 1, and we do not know if other providers applied
For Bourne.
or Bourne.
Yeah, I hate passive voice.
We've requested that info from MBI though.
Well, don't bother with that. I mean, we requested lots of stuff we didn't get.
Right. Okay. So right there you go.
How
We get it eventually.
No.
It's they follow public record law to the letter, and we get it eventually. Sometimes not when we need it.
Okay.
okay, is that right? We don't yet know whether anybody else has applied. Is that good enough?
It's fine with me.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, what are we doing?
Are announced. I don't have to use actually there. On the grants, that's a comma. Verizon been funding 7 towns, but no grant. No. But okay. Okay. Okay, so now where are we?
We're down into B, grant funding and eligibility.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay, Brian, you have a lot of edits here, so I'll let you just hand those to Wendy.
Residents.
So we didn't do 3,000 speed tests. That's my first one.
Okay, how many do we do?
I
Lots
probably
of-
run. Probably in the hundreds. But really so depending upon how you slice the challenges made, there were about 3,000 challenges. Initially it was 9, and they lopped out ones because of overlapping. And so in the challenges by municipality, we have about 3,000 in that list.
All
So
right.
3,000
Challenges,
challenges.
not speed tests, and there's the
Call them
difference.
challenges. Just say,
Well, this was it.
Speed tests. What challenges weren't submitted by Bourne residents?
Right. Speed tests were submitted.
Right.
No, challenges. So there was different types. So I put in tech ones. I put in like every type possible. As we're rolling through the maps, and I saw mistakes, I just added them.
Right.
Okay.
Why don't you just change it to after Bourne residents, take the period and say, and 3,000 challenges. I wouldn't say just 3,000 challenges. I don't
Most
know
of them were
how
successful too.
Yeah.
well, why don't we just say this resulted in over 3,000 challenges being submitted by Bourne residents, semicolon, most of which were accepted as valid. Eventually accepted as valid.
Didn't we submit the challenges, not the actual residents themselves?
Myself and my assistant did it.
Okay, so we just
thousands.
say, right, so don't say Bourne residents.
We take this out then?
No, hundreds of
Submitted.
speed tests is fine, and over 3,000 challenges being submitted, that's all. You don't even have to
On
say
behalf of Bourne residents.
right. Just say 3,000 challenges, and then take out the rest. It should have it say on behalf of Bourne residents. No, leave that in. Okay, right. Over 3,000 challenges on behalf of Bourne residents.
Okay.
After, instead of EG and other types, just no. The next sentence down.
I would remove the word submitted on the speed test. We had to take hundreds of them in order to submit dozens that qualified. It was painful. Like when it would crash mid-test and they didn't count. we had so many had to be taken that were bad but didn't qualify.
Right.
Okay, so if I take the highlighted part out,
I think that gets to
is accurate?
Just 3,000 challenges submitted on behalf of Bourne is fine.
Yeah, that's fine. That pretty well tells the story. They don't really need to know.
Residents or Bourne?
Just Bourne.
Because aren't some of that changes with CAIs and the like?
Yeah, it gets
right.
weird.
There were a lot of CAI challenges.
Again, the select board isn't going to know that. We want to show level of effort. And I might even make that I would say it's not even these activities. You can, okay. I think that's right. Everybody happy with that paragraph now? That bullet?
Okay, I think we still need to say that the residents did their speed tests. And I put that in up here.
Well, we did say that we assisted the residents down below, didn't we?
No, we didn't.
Well, it says
we spent 1,000 hours helping people do speed tests
and getting them properly submitted, which we did.
Right.
which
There's a lot
Brian,
of sitting in living rooms getting people's bills.
Yeah.
You know, getting the trust for someone to hand you a utility bill, showing
That's-
me you know what you're talking about, getting it, figuring out the plan. The speed tests were the easy part for me because I knew the rules inside and out. It was the everything else was the hard part.
Okay. All right. Read those two sentences and see if that means what I think you are saying.
Via portal, we submitted directly to via MBI's portal.
Okay. So not
Most of the Cape,
Cape.
most of the Cape, well, most of the residents submitted it through Open Cape's portal. I did it through the MBI's since we had town access.
well, I mean, I did both actually.
I
So-
did both too.
So maybe say both.
We want to give Open Cape credit because they put a lot of
Yes.
effort into this. So,
They did, and they cleaned up a lot of what was wrong with the MBI site.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Okay.
MBI's site was so bad it was not. I it was not good.
Okay. Does this work here?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm conscious of time here. I'm down to 30 minutes here, so I want to go through this as quickly as possible and get to recommendations because that's
Okay.
the meat of the whole thing.
That sounds pretty good. Okay.
Yeah, it's almost a shame that we can't put this right on top. Because
Why
I'm
can't
hoping
we?
to read down far enough to realize that that it's possible that we could realize $8 million due to our efforts, basically.
Yeah,
Well,
maybe
that's,
lead with the good news.
Yeah, lead with the good news.
well, we can. Okay. We'll let's see.
If you just put in possibly up to $8 million and just say see below,
Okay.
because I mean, when I read that, I was like,
Yeah. I
when
hate to
Brian
hate
first
to bury
said
the
it,
lead on that.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We need a headline.
These activities can result in
Approximately 8 million.
approximately 8 million smackers in grants for the town of Bourne.
What is that based on?
I would not.
Passing.
I would
So
eliminate town of Bourne. Town of Bourne says town government. I would just say for Bourne.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we don't want to imply that this is
Yeah.
something that's going to go through the town administration because that's going to that will set off Marlene.
Yeah.
So John, my
And
logic
really,
of the
Yeah.
the 8 million is, so I'm calling it 5,000 a passing. I didn't take out the 20% or co-funding, but because there's going to be some fiber have to be built laterals in order to get to the grant eligible area. Plus the island is going to be a slightly higher cost per passing. Plus there are rules that are complicated on the
Okay, how's
drops
that?
partially covered. So we're just calling it 5,000 until we know for sure. Is this 6? Is this 12? It's 8 is a relatively it's within the margin of error number.
Okay, 5,000
and just say,
passing, and you got 3,000
and
passings.
Yeah,
Do we
it's going to be 1,600 passings, plus the laterals to get there,
well,
and
what did we just
the
say?
CAIs. So that's going to, the CAIs are a lot of miles that I can't really calculate. So it could
Right.
be more, but 8 is probably somewhere right in the middle of where the range.
Okay, try that bolded sentence.
I would say in approximately 1 million
Yeah.
in grants to yeah, I'd leave it at that. Okay.
Or we could say it's about approximately 8 million to the houses and then an unknown amount to CAIs.
Again, we don't even define CAIs until below, so I would just leave it
Okay.
at that for now.
Yeah, this should get their attention. And if
Right,
it's more
right.
later, oh, good.
And then parenthesis C below.
It's the order of magnitude is correct. We're talking millions of dollars and high single digits.
Right. I would say in grants for Bourne, or would you say in grants for improved internet service for Bourne? Because it's not
Correct.
directly
Yeah.
going to the town. It's going to the
Right.
provider.
I want to, for improved internet service.
For ISPs who want to serve Bourne.
Yeah. Now these are grants for benefit of Bourne,
Sure.
to benefit Bourne.
To benefit Bourne, yeah.
So say, good.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think I'm going to leave that bolded. That'll get their
Yes.
attention.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where are we? Down
We're
here?
done with BEAD eligibility. Gap 2, I think, is where we are. Okay.
Yeah, this can be restated a little better, but we don't have to.
Well, just we do not. Let's see. Once again, just copy the sentence above. We know that Comcast applied for a Gap 2 grant, but we do not know about any other companies or Bourne. Essentially copy the sentence from Gap 1 up above, pretty close to it.
Really?
We do not know. Well, no, again, we missed this. I thought that was changed. Can we go back to Gap Networks 1 above? We do
Okay.
not know whether either of these companies applied for Gap funding. We know that we have to, so that sentence is wrong. The sentence below is correct. We have determined that Comcast applied for Gap 1. We do not yet know whether other ISP has applied. So
Okay.
applied for Gap 1 for Bourne in that.
There we go.
Yeah, you can cut that out or drop that in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then copy that sentence down below.
Really?
Just take that whole sentence and put that under Gap 2 and just change 1 to 2.
Okay. Where? Here?
Yeah. You can eliminate, we do not know whether Verizon applied for this funding. And just say, okay, Gap 2. And that third line on that bullet.
Okay.
No, right up there, first bullet, third line down, applied for Gap 2 funding.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 to 2. Yeah.
Okay.
So
And it's just sort of 6 on. Go ahead, Brian.
So it's like a tentative award. So they showed us the draft since it's not final. So announced is probably the wrong word. They
Release drafts.
Release draft awards. Draft Gap 2. I'll pull the grant app. I think I have it on my.
Don't worry about it now. Again, I'm sensitive of time. I'm down to 20 minutes here.
It made us say somewhere between 4 and 10 locations.
Right.
Okay.
Or just say less than 10 locations, fewer than 10 locations.
And that
but we know about the conditions thing now. They're not going to. They don't care about that.
Yeah, well, wouldn't the conditions that conditions apply to the whole town? So I don't know how they can.
Their application does not indicate that they are intending to comply with the conditions.
Okay.
There's nothing in there saying we're going to upgrade all of Bourne. There's no map showing that they're sending the network everywhere. There's nothing to indicate that they are upgrading the entire town in their application.
Right, but doesn't that,
Okay,
I thought that MBI's rules say that they have to go with the letter of a recommendation that we wrote.
That is for BEAD. I need to locate the exact wording for GAP, but
Oh, okay. I
based
got
on
it.
based
you
on
think
conversations,
this is appropriate for the gap thing?
let me read it. Yeah, that's our opinion on GAP. I can go pull GAP right now if we want to hit a pin on that one.
Brian, again, I'm sensitive to time. I want to get to recommendations here, only because I am, when I hit the road, I don't know if I can stay in communication.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I just put opines in here because that's our opinion.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Moving along.
Okay. I don't know what that census block group number is. They've changed the boundaries a little bit.
Do we know?
I sent
No,
you
but
the number in an email. Let me.
oh, okay. I didn't see it. Send it to Wendy, please, and she can add that in.
Yeah, give me a second. I'll do it.
Okay. Remind me to go back and find it.
I believe it is this one. I just pasted in the chat.
Okay. Chat. Where's the chat?
140.02. It's block group 1, tract 140.02, Barnstable County, Mass.
Oh, there we go. And
Okay.
I'll fix the font size and all that, but we don't have to do that right now.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
We should probably underline that whole section about appears to be the only successful challenge, or bold it, because I don't think
Bold
that,
it. Bold the next bullet below
Yeah.
the figure.
Yeah.
that's really,
Look at us. Aren't we freaking fabulous? Yes, we are.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, is the next bullet 2 bullets correct? We know that. Brian, does that correctly state what we heard?
I'm rereading it. The only thing wrong is it's like close to 2,000 locations in Bourne.
Okay.
What?
Say nearly 2,000.
Where are we? Down here?
Yeah.
Say nearly 2,000.
Realistically, it will hit at least 2,000 with the number of people that are going to be on the path to all the unserved area and the CAIs, since those go down all main roads. We've effectively gotten
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I want to do recommendations, new heading, recommendations recommendations to the select board from your SciTech.
Formally withdraw Comcast support letter.
Well, no, just the first is, okay. Recommendations to this. Yeah, that's good. Okay. First bullet is, let's see. The select board chair
Mm-hmm.
Should contact Comcast to have them state or to identify the precise level of service.
I've already emailed them and I have in writing that they will not answer questions until after the final award. So I can forward the email.
Okay, well, that's okay. If MJ gets no comment from them, she can say, "Well, we're withdrawing our letter of support until we get comments." Levels of identify the level of levels of improvement planned, and confirm that the entire town will receive these improvements.
So it's risky because it's risky. Because if they even if they upgrade the whole town, we still then don't have a competitive option. So even
Well-
having this route is concerning.
Well, again, if we're stuck with that, let's make sure it's very specific with what we get. Okay.
Is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah. Let's see. Let's say the service and reliability improvements.
So we were very specific in the letter about both mid splits and
We
frequencies.
weren't. Does somebody have the exact copy of the letter that that actually was sent? Because what I have is was the second draft of it was on December 3rd was watered down, and I do not have a copy of what was actually submitted.
I have the one from December 5th, which I can bring up, might be able to share.
Okay.
Hang on a second here. Let me see if I can.
I have the one
cut off,
submit. I have the one Comcast submitted to MBI.
Okay, hang on a
Oh.
minute. Let me see. Here we go. This is the last one I have, which I think is close to what was done. I believe this is it.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Provide or improve service in all areas of Bourne that currently do not have adequate and reliable high-speed broadband connectivity. 100 up, 100 down.
Oh,
And
I can't copy that.
the okay, and the discussion of the technology
This is 20.
disappeared.
Yeah.
I have the letter. Hold on.
Okay.
I have the actual submission.
Okay, I'm going to
Okay.
stop my share and let Brian share.
Okay. Well, what happened to mine? It vanished.
No, Brian's
Okay.
gonna share.
If you shoot, where did my screen share go?
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay,
Brian's
Brian.
got it now.
So here is the December 5th letter, Town of Bourne letterhead, MJ signature, executed.
Okay, how about we copy and paste this into this report
No,
as
just
a
attached.
reminder?
No,
As a
no, we'll just say see attached
Yeah.
letter.
Addendum 1, whatever.
okay. Well, I don't know
Yeah,
where
okay.
I don't know where mine
This is
went.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Don't worry about it for now. Brian's
Right. But
got
Brian, can you
the
maybe
control of the screen.
send everyone a copy? Because
Send
all
it.
I have is a draft too.
Yep, I'll send it right now.
Yeah, send it.
Yeah.
Send
That
it
way
to
Wendy
everybody.
can
We
attach it.
support grant money for fixing degraded coax and for splitting nodes to under 500 homes passed, extending the spectrum to 1.8 gigahertz, and introducing mid splits for more upstream capability from to meet gap grant requirement of 100 MPS upstream now. The unserved, underserved are townwide. Thus, our support is contingent upon improvements being implemented townwide. Okay. And again, what I should say is that we need the select board needs to get them to confirm that they are in fact are going to make these changes. And if they okay, can everybody see that? Okay, we can go back to the report right now.
Okay. Am I screen sharing yet? Here we go. Where are we?
Well,
I think Ryan has
okay,
to
John, if you
unshare.
can.
There you go. Okay,
Okay,
now it's up to
and
Wendy
Wendy's
to
going to come
share.
back up.
Okay, whatever the heck date that was. Is mine showing up on your screen?
No, not seeing it yet.
No. Where the son of a bitch. There must be a way to do this. Where are we?
Okay,
I'm
there you go.
concerned about
There you
this
go. You
road
got it. Now you just
entirely
have to.
Is it
because
there? Got it now?
Yeah, we're
I-
seeing your entire screen.
I've
Everything.
I've got to say this. I'm concerned about this road because at the time we issued the gap support letter, the expectation was Comcast would upgrade mid splits town-wide, and then there would be gains based on the challenge process, and then someone else would be building fiber over. So the circumstances aren't the same as when this was written.
Having said that, my concern is that again, this process that MBI informed us on last Friday will stick, and this is literally the best we're going to get. Okay, and if that's the case, we want to make sure that Comcast under Gap 1, Gap 2 commits to doing this entirely. Again, if it turns out that if it turns out that they renege on this, then our recommendation is that the select board rescind their letter of support.
I can't, I'll have to vote nay on this. I think the circumstances have changed so substantially that it should be, the first option should be to revoke the support letter and not continue this, because this is, we were not certain that we were going to make it through BEAD, and we have a once in a lifetime opportunity to solve the problem and build fiber, and for generations to come are going to benefit from this. So I see where you're going with it, but I would vote nay on this, unfortunately.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
are we going to
Well-
change this?
Well, I would let's go for it. We still what we should say at the beginning is that the recommendation from the SciTac has always been that a fiber network be built. Given that the town doesn't have the resources to build and operate it on its own, we recommend that the second option, and we've stated this in the last set of minutes, the last meeting. The second option is that a fiber network be built and operated by an independent company. The third and least preferable option is that the existing legacy infrastructure be repaired and upgraded in an attempt to provide the level of service needed.
I don't know why that's doing that.
Bob, would it be prudent for us to create another meeting for next week, and we'd have more time to finesse this rather than try to rush it through, or are we under some kind of?
We need to rush it through realistically, because MBI would have to take action on the gap and then update all the providers bidding on BEAD so that they can bid in time. We really, we're running into the limits of human capacity to respond to changes with how short this window is for BEAD, because we should have a meeting, because the next step is going to be approaching other providers aggressively to do this.
Right now, the MBI has locked them out essentially.
well, the ink is not dry, but almost. So we need
Yeah.
the town's opinion to be heard by MBI immediately.
Well, what I want to
Okay.
do is get this. I want to get a draft of this to MJ today. She can make the decision about whether she wants to put this on the docket for next week, or she can tell me tonight or tomorrow whether she wants, you know, whether in fact this is going to be problematic. But I think what we ought to do is just point out, first of all, the recommendation is that time is of the essence in terms of the town getting its last input into this process.
Should we start by pasting what we talked about last time with the the priority order, place that above this?
Yes. Yeah, and based on our as discussed numerous times, and then quote directly from our last set of minutes, which we just approved.
Okay, so where are we and what I'm supposed to be typing here for recommendations to this board? This is what I have so far, but I hear that parts of this are lesser or more desirable. So, the formatting sucks, but I'll fix that.
What Brian was saying is that from our last minutes, the minutes we just had from January 9th, there's one paragraph, and you can just put that in there as a quote from our last minutes, just even before recommendations. Well, no, it is a recommendation, I guess. Okay.
Okay, so that's not from the letter of support that we sent before?
No. Don't worry about the letter of support.
Oops.
Does that mean erase the letter of support?
No, hold on.
Well, no.
I'm copying the section. This section from the minutes.
Okay. I got that. Where do you want to put that here?
I think we need to open. So my concern is if we open with that they approach Comcast first, I think it doesn't set the right tone that is actually the worst outcome of the possible outcomes here. And so they need to be aware that there is the possibility for a fiber build, and that would be preferable to moving forward with Comcast.
We would put these priority recommendations perhaps, and then put that later.
Yeah, I mean, the first priority I would think would be for the town board to contact MBI and voice their strong objection to the locking out of other possible providers who and in that way limit competition. I think that should be the number one thing. I mean, that's what's really happening here. I am sure that other providers would be very interested in the $8 million.
I agree. I would agree with John. That's that contacting MBI is more important than contacting Comcast
Okay, and
at
so
this point.
how are we going to say that?
Well,
that MJ arranges a call with Michael Baldino.
And we request that we don't request. We suggest that the chair of the select board contact the director of MBI and express the town's concern and displeasure with a non-competitive award of funds to a single provider without allowing competition by other possible ISPs.
Yeah, that is the thing, because once it's open, we
Yes.
know for a fact that Verizon and others will be interested.
Yeah, we're getting email. We know we have active interest from other providers. So this was going to go out to bid and be a feeding for NZ, not a exclusive contract.
Okay, is this what you mean?
Yeah, that, and maybe add in changing grant rules to do so. So because it's no one could plan for it, no one could predict this. Like changing it at the last second is a fundamental flaw MBI policy.
Just say, changing the grant program rules without proper notification at the last minute during the grant process.
Which is what they did. They did it ex post
Right,
facto.
right. Yes.
Is unconscionable, is
Right.
tacky, is unacceptable.
Unacceptable, I think, is a good word.
Yep. Folks, preliminarily, once we get to that point, I'm looking at the other sections. I would eliminate the contact with Comcast so far.
Right.
Ditch this.
Ditch that, and ditch the other recommendations. Okay.
Yeah.
For now, and let's just see that.
Can I add one thing to the first thing? Make contact with Michael Baldino and possibly legislative representatives, because I'm not sure. I mean, I didn't know when I opened that thing this morning. I said, "What? What happened? You're kidding." I mean, I would think that our state reps would be as upset as we are at the fact that they're whacking the competition. What are they doing? It's not, the idea was of the grants was to provide the best possible service. You can't do that without competition.
So is bullet number 2, if necessary, for the long-term best interest of Bourne, withdraw support letters from providers that aren't acting in the town's best interest?
Yes.
Okay. Any. Which would that's the word I'm looking for. You want to, which would tend to disadvantage the town of Bourne?
Would not be to the best
Long-term interest.
right long-term interest in would not be in the long-term interest in more.
And I think 3 is issue support letters to any provider who wishes to build fiber in Bourne.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we can take a technology stance and the select board can take a technology stance. MBI cannot. So if we make a clear preference to fiber.
Right. I just say fiber network available to commercial and residential customers.
Yeah.
Because we know that Open Cape is happy to serve large commercial customers.
And the recommendation for fiber network, it doesn't have to be the entire town because it might just be pieces that don't have it. So but it has to be fiber. It cannot be FWA.
Right. I would say and commercial fiber
Yeah,
network.
I was just thinking about that. Yeah.
Because otherwise they'll go. Because I mean, residential services is one of the things we're concerned about. But from the standpoint of some of the businesses, and if you go down here in Picasso, right off of Route 28, I mean, it's unbelievable what's back there. And that means tax dollars for the town.
Mhm. Okay, is this what we're looking at here? Read these over again.
And on item 2, it's past or future. Not
I think
past.
the disadvantage is
Oh.
probably the wrong word, which would just withdraw any support letter that's not in the long-term best interest of town.
Right.
Okay, folks, I would like to preliminarily get a vote to approve this as written with minor edits.
Yeah.
Only because I've got to hit the road. I will try to get it back on while I'm driving, but if I get cut off, de facto the meeting ends. As written so far, except for minor edits, I'd like to entertain a nomination to approve this report.
I'll second,
moved.
or I'll nominate to approve it as it's been written now.
Second.
Okay, Brian moves. Wendy seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go around. Brian,
Aye.
Wendy,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
and Bob. Yes. Okay. So this is approved. Now, really quickly, I think we should schedule a meeting for next week. Only because we will
We're
have
changing
hopefully met
quickly,
with the
yes.
select board. Yes, so I'm going to schedule a meeting for next week. I will prepare an agenda. It will be identical to this one pretty much. And we'll go forward from there. And okay, I want to preliminarily move to adjourn the meeting as soon as I get cut off. Okay. This is a little unusual, but again, if I lose contact, we lose our quorum. So a motion to adjourn the meeting
Wait,
as soon
when's our
as
next meeting? Next week? 2 weeks?
1 week.
next
Immediate.
week,
The 30th.
1 week.
the
1 week.
30th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Seconded. Sure.
Who has the template
Oh.
to send to the town to set the meeting? Wendy, do
Uh,
you have it? Or
I
do you
will
have
do
it?
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I have the template. I can find it.
But yeah, identical minutes, just resend the same one. It's fine.
It's identical agenda. Just change the date. Okay. We can continue discussion on the wording here, but I think those are the two big recommendations we need to get in front of the select board. Does anybody think we need anything more than that?
No, right now this is generational change.
Hey, are you guys
know,
there?
they need. Yeah, this is the
Hello?
generational. Yep, I can hear you, Bob. Can you hear us, Bob?
We hear
Can
you.
you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know. I'm on the move here.
If you're cutting out, like this is a once in a lifetime change. So have we adjourned? No, so
I think
let's just
we've
submit
got
this.
what we need on this report. Wendy, if you can work on it, I will pick it up when I get
Yeah,
back from the doctor's office.
I'll clean up the formatting and all that, and I think we got the wording okay.
Okay. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So motioned.
Second.
John, Wendy, second. Okay. John,
Say
Aye.
Wendy,
aye.
Bob, me, yes, and Brian.
Aye, adjourned.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry for the rush here. Again, they moved me to a different office, so I've got to drive further for this one. I thought I had more time. Okay.
Okay.
Very good.